If Agatha found herself in one of your past projects, which one do you think would be the most interesting to sort of see her walking around in?
That is a very good question.
And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for different questions.
Yeah, this is
that
very
was really
fun.
nice. Thank you.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Miss Hahn, an honor to see you again. How are you doing today?
So good to see you. Your city looks so beautiful.
Well, your city too, kind of. Like you spent time here. Like this is as much your city as it is mine.
I really have a soft spot for Chi-Town.
Well, I'm going to jump into that a little bit later, but I want to start out talking about the show and about Marvel. Marvel fans were just taught very recently by way of Deadpool and Wolverine that the MCU can exist with an R rating and people will still show up. I am curious, are there any aspects of Agatha or this story that just for fun, you'd be curious to see what they would look like with an R rating?
Of course. Yes.
What does that look like?
It's interesting because it's certainly not necessary, because I think the themes and the kind of the content that we're dealing with is actually like pretty sophisticated. So it feels like fine lines in those departments anyway. Like no one needs to swear, But there's it's scary and it's also hilarious.
I could see it going both ways. I have to say, I think one of the brilliant ideas behind both Agatha and WandaVision were that there are these moments where the characters find themselves in a piece of television we know and love, whether it's a classic sitcom or Mayor of Easttown. If Agatha found herself in one of your past projects, which one do you think would be the most interesting to sort of see her walking around in?
That is a very good question. I was going to say something. If she was in Mrs. Fletcher, that would make me laugh. Yes.
Then we could go back and visit the R-rated conversation at that point.
Exactly my point.
It's all tying back. Obviously, I'm talking to you from Chicago, and I'd love to talk to you about the time that you spent in our city. Do you find that the experiences you had in Chicago, memories you have from your time spent here, still find their way into your characters or maybe even into someone like Agatha?
All of it feeds into everything. I mean, I went to school at Northwestern. I met my hubby there. I was just there recently, blessed enough to give the commencement speech, which just was so moving. So yeah, I mean, that's the origin, I feel like, of how I see the world comedically, friendship-wise. Yeah, I love that city. Seeing theater downtown, the Looking Glass, to me, Chicago was like the epitome of the cool kids who did theater for the love of it. And I respected the heck out of it.
You'll appreciate this. I've been so worried all day and had my finger over the mute button because right behind me is the Air and Water show happening literally right now, which I'm sure you got to see many times.
Wait, are you telling me that's a fake backdrop?
No, I'm in my apartment.
Oh, good. I was like, what?
No, that's what we're looking like today.
It's gorge.
I'll cut you loose on this. Robert Downey Jr. just announced that he will be playing Dr. Doom, which means that no one actor has to be assigned to any one character in the world of Marvel. If you could play another Marvel role in addition to Agatha, is there one you'd be curious to play around with?
I mean, there are so many. There's so many little ones that haven't been explored that I think would be so fun to jump in and try to put my mark on it, knowing what I know from the comics. But I think you need a crazy imaginative writer like Jack Schaefer to be able to mine something out of these subsidiary characters that we don't know that much about. Agatha's a centuries-old witch, and kind of no one really would even she pops up in a lot of different places, but for her to see the potential and see the inside of this person takes a real special mind. So yeah, there'd be incredible. I'm always think that sometimes the dudes' parts are rich and hilarious, and I think that would be really fun too. If all of a sudden I showed up as
I've got to. We're starting to get more Hulks, and we just saw the first look at Harrison Ford's Hulk. I want to see what the Kathryn Hahn Hulk looks like. To be honest with you,
Yeah. Or the Spider-Man. Like just Spider-Man. Like just no hiding it. Just like
and just not address it. Not address that it's anyone. Just U.S. Spider-Man, and then just go with it.
take off the hat and I'm
They're pulling me out of here, but I hope you know how much I love you, how much this city loves you, and please, when you come back through, let us know we love you so much. Thank you for being the amazing person.
Go
See you later.
Chicago.
Have a nice day.
Bye. Good to see you again.
All right, you too. Ladies, this is a real honor. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course. So obviously, Marvel fans right now, we're just taught by the new Deadpool movie that the MCU can exist within an R rating and people will still show up. I would love to know, are there aspects of your own characters or this story that you'd be curious to see maybe what they might look like if they were R rated?
Ooh. Oh, that's. I mean, I do think this show is spookier than a lot of other Marvel things I have already.
And it's a little spicier.
It's
too.
a bit
edgy.
spicy.
It's definitely edgy. I think it's also psychologically a little darker, maybe.
Yeah, there's some camp in there and there's some humor, but yeah, we definitely take it to some dark places. So I think we're right on the edge.
You honestly, you really are. I just interviewed another actor for another Marvel project a few weeks ago, and kind of brought up something that happened a few movies ago. And he, to his credit, genuinely had absolutely no idea what I was talking about. And I kind of asked, do you guys watch the other? And he kind of went, no, not really. Like when you're an actor and you're cast in something that's sort of a chapter of a much bigger story, how much do we put too much stock in watching the other stuff? Like, do you really have to, or is it just, I need to focus on what's on the page that I'm given?
Well, I think what's nice about Jack Schaefer's scripts is they do kind of exist in their own world. So I think we all watched WandaVision and a couple times to make sure we were versed in Agatha. But I think that for me, I didn't feel like I needed to know that much of the lore for this specific project.
I did WandaVision, so I came in knowing who at least Agatha was. But when I went into WandaVision, I didn't know. Marvel to me was comic books and superheroes, and I thought, no, I don't think I want to do that. And my great nephew said, Aunt Debbie, you better do this. You better. So when I started WandaVision, I went to the set and I knew nothing. And
But Sashir was
Paul Bettany said, you have to watch. So I had like a couple days off and I watched everything.
Oh, good.
I loved it. I just laid in the bed in the hotel room and just watched everything. So I really... But I have to say, I haven't watched a lot since then because I feel like I'm a master at it now and I know everything.
You've watched more than most people have.
I know. I watched everything up to, what was it, Endgame or
So Sashir's an encyclopedia. I mean, she told us all these great resources for like synopses of everything and the chronological order of things. So every time we didn't understand something, we were like, Sashir, what is this a reference
Yeah,
to?
I was already a fan of Marvel before I was on the show, and I did create some cheat sheets for people just to help them out a little bit. But yeah, it's nice that this show really does exist in its own world, but there are connections that you can draw from the past and in the future of Marvel, and that's really, really fun.
It's fun because I can watch it as someone who's been there since day one with the first Iron Man, or my mom, who could not care less about Marvel, respectfully, could also watch.
Absolutely.
I think your mom's gonna love
yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
I have to ask, does Aunt Debbie get all the cool points now? Like that's got to be the ultimate.
Aunt
thing,
Debbie
right?
is not doing too badly right now.
I'm going to end on kind of a silly, fun question. I do love one of the brilliant ideas behind both Agatha and WandaVision, these moments where the characters themselves find themselves in a piece of television that we know and love, whether it's a classic sitcom or I love Mare of Easttown, and I love the little Mare of Easttown moment in this. If your characters found themselves in maybe one of your own past projects, which one do you think would be fun for them to walk around and sort of figure out, wait, what is this world that I'm in right now?
Oh, that's interesting. I think Alice would be really happy in this show I did called The Path, which is about cults.
Oh, that's good. That's
Really good.
That's really good. I mean, I would actually take one of Deborah Jo's shows and walk around in the 70s show. I just
Oh,
feel like that era was so fun, and the looks were great.
I would have loved to seen that 70s show represented in WandaVision. That would have been great.
I think my character would be uncomfortable anywhere that she was. Actually, I don't think there's any one place for her.
Fair enough. Well, they're pulling me out of here. I know you have an insanely busy day. I know these Marvel days can be a lot. So I just want you to know how much I appreciate you and appreciate your time. And I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear the noise. There's literally an air and water show happening in Chicago right now. So I keep trying to like mute my microphone.
We can't even hear it. It's great.
Beautiful.
You know, and
Excellent.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for different questions.
Yeah,
that
this is
was
very
really
fun.
nice. Thank you.
I appreciate you. You made my day. Thank you so
Thanks.
much. You guys have a wonderful day.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Take care. See you later.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.